The Alpine A110 Première Edition, United Kingdom market, September 2017. The brand had been dormant for 22 years. The sports car market in that moment was dominated by the increasingly heavy, increasingly digital Porsche 718 Cayman and the resolutely Spartan Lotus Elise. Alpine's answer was not more power, it was less weight. This is the document that made that argument. The brochure's cover does not try very hard, which is its own form of confidence. Turn the page, and the brochure exclaims, "It's here!" It then immediately produces its managing director, Michael van der Sande, in black and white, slightly formal, alongside the A110 on a snow-covered Alpine road. The photography is doing real work here. The car is entirely at home in this landscape, blue against white, apparently indifferent to the conditions. The copy reads, in full, "The new Alpine A110 is enticing, light and fun, rekindling the spirit of the famed Berlinette. We put all our passion into designing the Alpine A110 with the goal of offering performance-driving enthusiasts a real alternative that embodies agility and driving pleasure. The A110 is manufactured to exacting technical standards in the northern French town of Dieppe, with a mid-rear engine and an aluminium body. The men and women of Alpine are extremely proud to present the new A110 Première Edition, the first model of the new A110. A managing director quote is a conventional enough opening for a car brochure. What is less conventional is that this one is actually trying to say something, a real alternative, rather than simply expressing enthusiasm. The word alternative is doing considerable weight-bearing work, and Alpine knows it. The exterior spread opens with the car shot head-on in what appears to be a large, very clean industrial space. Concrete floor, high ceiling. The kind of setting that suggests a hangar rather than a showroom. The car stares back at you. The feature list arrives in two tight columns. In the left column, under exterior, two-seat coupe, double bubble roof, flat underbody, rear diffuser with fins, chrome center exhaust, electric, heated, aspherical folding wing mirrors, aerodynamic windscreen wipers, rear parking sensors, French flags on C-pillars, Alpine logo on front bumper, Alpine plaque on front and rear fascia, engine cover with Alpine logo. The second column begins with lighting. 4 LED front headlamps, LED tail lights with sweeping turn signals, stop lights and reversing lights. Third LED stop light in the quarter glass, dome lights. Not LED headlamps. 4. The specific count is presented as part of the specification. Below the main photograph, 4 detail shots. The Alpine logo on the engine cover, the small French tricolour flag set into the C-pillar, and close studies of the LED head and tail lights. The shots are essentially abstract, curved red and white geometry against deep blue bodywork. Storage makes its first appearance here. 96 litres in the front boot, 100 litres at the rear. These are the engine, performance and transmission pages. Bottom left, the engine sits on a pale concrete floor, photographed from directly above, bracketed by 2 small blue corner markers, a visual device that says specimen, not component. Above the image of the engine are its specifications. Mid-rear, 1.8 litre direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder. Maximum power 252 brake horsepower, 185 kilowatts, at 6,000 revolutions per minute. Maximum torque 320 newton meters from 2,000 revolutions per minute. To its right, the car again on a mountain road, this time at speed, the trees behind it blurred. Below that, the power and torque curves. The graph is worth examining. Maximum torque arrives at 2,000 revolutions per minute and holds, essentially flat, through to 5,000. The power line climbs to 252 brake horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute, then drops away. It is the torque curve that tells the actual story of how this car drives. Broad, accessible, undramatic. The driving mode selector gets its own bullet points. Normal, Sport and Track. That modifies the following settings: accelerator pedal sensitivity, gear shifting RPMs, exhaust acoustics, electronic stability program. Exhaust acoustics is listed as a technical setting. The implication is that the sound of the car is an engineered parameter adjusted by mode, not simply a consequence of combustion. Whether one finds that reassuring or slightly melancholy will depend on one's relationship to the previous generation of sports cars. Lightweight chassis and body, 96% aluminium. That line earns its pause. Finally, the transmission. Automatic transmission with 7-speed dual clutch. Aluminium paddle shifters on steering wheel. The road holding and safety pages are anchored by a large action photograph. The A110 driving on a twisty, snow-covered road. The driver, barely visible, appears to be enjoying themselves. To the left, 2 detail shots. An 18-inch forged wheel, isolated, lit from an angle that emphasizes the diamond-turned finish on the spokes. Black, with bright machined edges, and, to the right, a brake disc and caliper set against the same pale background. Road holding. 18-inch Première Édition forged aluminium rims with black diamond-turned finish. 205/40 R18 front tyres. 235/40 R18 rear tyres. High-performance brakes with 320mm discs in front and rear. 4 fixed front calipers. Single-piston fixed rear calipers. Alpine blue brake calipers. Parking brake integrated in rear brake caliper. The calipers are indeed blue. Not just any blue, the same specific blue as the car's signature colour, referenced repeatedly throughout this document as a marker of identity. The decision to photograph the caliper separately, to isolate it as an object of attention, tells you something about what Alpine believes its customers will look for when they arrive at a car park. The safety list is thorough and expected. Emergency brake assist, anti-lock braking system, cruise control with speed limitation, hill start assist, disconnectable stability control system, driver and passenger airbags, inflation and repair kit, compressor and cartridge. There is no spare wheel. There was no room. The interior section runs across 2 spreads and is best understood as a single argument about what the word lightweight should feel like when you sit inside it. The main photograph shows the cabin from the open driver's door, a wide shot that takes in the Sebelt bucket seats, quilted in a deep diamond pattern, the aluminium pedals, the instrument binnacle, the steering wheel. The quilting on the seats is genuinely impressive, the kind of finish one might expect to find on expensive upholstery rather than a race-derived bucket. It is the interior's primary visual statement, and the brochure knows this. There are 2 further detail shots at the bottom of the page, dedicated solely to the paddle shifter and the upper part of the seat. Above this, the interior specs. Steering wheel with Alpine blue logo in centre, leather and microfiber wrapped rim with 12 o'clock marker and Alpine blue top stitching. Adjustable steering wheel height and depth. Electrochromic interior rearview mirror. Aluminium pedals. Aluminium driver footrest. Aluminium passenger footrest. Sebelt bucket racing seats with lightweight design in leather and microfiber. Aesthetic black and matte charcoal interior. Stainless steel door sill with Alpine plaque. Leather platted floor mats with Alpine emblem. Transmission controls integrated into the center console. Headrests embroidered with Alpine logo. Body color trim on the upper portion of the door panel. Contrasting Alpine blue stitching on the instrument panel, seats and door panels. French flag on the driver and passenger door panels. The 12 o'clock marker on the steering wheel rim is a convention borrowed from motorsport, where knowing the wheel's precise rotational position at speed is operationally useful. Here it sits in a road car, alongside the Alpine blue logo, alongside the leather-platted floor mats, alongside the electrochromic rear-view mirror. The brochure lists all of these at the same register, in the same bullet point weight. Turn the page for the technology spread. On the left, the 7-inch touchscreen showing the Alpine Hello line alongside navigation and phone Alpine. To the right, the instrument cluster, and below it, the center console with its gloss black and aluminium controls, and the red engine start button. Climate control / windows. Automatic climate control with particle filter. Defroster. Touch control electric windows. And then the multimedia and audio equipment. 7-inch tactile screen. GPS with packaged Europe maps. Alpine MySpin. Smartphone mirroring that pairs with iOS and Android via a dedicated app. Alpine Telemetrics. Real-time technical data and performance metrics. Power, torque, temperatures, turbo pressure, etc. Lightweight focal audio system with 2 speakers and 2 tweeters, 2 × 40 watts. 2 USB ports. Bluetooth technology. The MySpin system is, in the plain English of 2017, Apple CarPlay by another name, or rather the precursor to it. The telemetric system is more interesting. Real-time turbo pressure and temperatures available to the driver, presented as a performance tool rather than a diagnostic one. The focal audio system is described as lightweight. 2 speakers, 2 tweeters, 2 × 40 watts. The word lightweight is applied here to the stereo. Alpine is consistent, if nothing else. Over the page, the colour chart. 3 colours, listed with their French designations. Bleu Alpine, Blanc Solaire, Noir Profond. The swatches are small, square, painterly, gradated to suggest depth rather than simply flatness. The large photograph on this page shows the rear haunches of the car in Bleu Alpine at speed, the wheel blurred, the tail light assembly catching light. It is arguably the single most composed image in the brochure. The roofline, the C-pillar, the haunches. The car looks, from this angle, entirely resolved. 3 colours for a launch edition is not a large palette. It is the palette of a manufacturer who knows exactly what their car looks like in each of them, and has elected not to offer further confusion. It is also clear what their favoured choice is. We arrive at the technical specifications. This page asks to be read rather than paraphrased, so we shall read it. The silhouette diagrams to the right show the car from 4 elevations, side, top, front and rear, with dimensions annotated in millimetres. We note the total length before we begin. 4,180 millimetres. Shorter than a Volkswagen Golf. Now the table. Engine. 4 cylinders, 4 valves per cylinder. Displacement. 1,798 cubic centimetres. Maximum power. 252 horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute. Maximum torque. 320 Newton meters from 2,000 revolutions per minute. Transmission. Rear-wheel drive. 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. Chassis. Aluminium frame, 96%. Safety cell, engine mount, front end. Front and rear axle. Double wishbone suspension system. Turning circle between curbs and walls. 11.64 meters, 11.74 meters. Both measurements to 2 decimal places. Brakes. Aluminium calipers with integrated parking brake. Alpine blue calipers. Front and rear brake disc diameter 320 mm. Front tyres 205/40 R18. Rear tyres 235/40 R18. Weight. Curb weight 1,103 kilograms. Gross vehicle mass 1,365 kilograms. Performance. Maximum speed, electronically limited, 250 kilometers per hour. 0 to 100, 4.5 seconds. 400 meters from standing start, 12.7 seconds. 1,000 meters from standing start, 23.2 seconds. Fuel efficiency and emissions. Urban, 8.2 litres per 100 kilometers. Extra urban, 5.0 litres per 100 kilometres. Overall, 6.1 litres per 100 kilometres. CO2, 138 grams per kilometre. Emission standard, Euro 6B. Dimensions, length, 4,180 mm. Width overall, 1,798 mm, 1,980 mm with mirrors. Height, 1,252 mm. Wheelbase, 2,420 mm. Front and rear boot capacity, 96 litres, 100 litres. Fuel tank capacity, 45 litres.
1,103 kilograms. That is the entire raison d'etre of this car in a single figure at the end of a column.
The penultimate spread is given over to warranty and services. On the left, the text. On the right, the A110 on a narrow mountain road, in sunshine, in Blé Alpine, with pine trees and snow above it and nothing else in sight. The car is entirely alone. The warranty is 3 years or 100,000 kilometres, with unlimited mileage in the first 2. Alpine Assistance provides 24/7 coverage for breakdown, flat tyre, lost keys or, the brochure's phrase, fuel miscalculation. Valid in France and in Europe. France is, of course, also in Europe. Vertically, between the warranty information and the photograph, in small print, the legal boilerplate, including the full company name, Société des Automobiles Alpine. There is something in the formality of that, the full legal name followed by the DEP address, that the preceding 17 pages of aspirational photography could not quite achieve. It situates the object. It says, this is a real thing, made by real people, in a specific postal district of northern France. The back cover is a full-bleed studio photograph. The rear haunches of the car again, this time in near darkness, the tail light burning amber and red, the Blé Alpine caliper just visible through the wheel spokes. In the lower right corner, the Alpine logo. No model name, no price, no call to action, just the car and the logo. What this brochure reveals, through 20 pages and a closing legal notice, is the precise nature of the bet Alpine was making in September 2017. The car was genuinely remarkable. 1,103 kilograms, double wishbone all round, a chassis made almost entirely of aluminium, built by hand in DEP. That is not marketing copy. Those are facts, and the brochure is right to present them without excessive decoration. But the brochure also knows, must know, that the engine in this car was sourced from a Renault hatchback. It does not say so. It says 1.8 litre direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder, and moves promptly onto the torque curve. The bet was that if you stripped a car down far enough, past comfort, past luggage space, past engine provenance, what remained would be worth having on its own terms. Looking back from here, with the benefit of knowing how the A110 was received, the bet was won. The brochure was right. It just couldn't quite bring itself to explain why.